Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we have a back-to-back comparison of two wireless earbuds from Pamu. Today, we're taking a look at the Pamu Quiet and the Pamu Quiet Mini. Both of these have active noise canceling, fantastic audio properties, and a lot of cool features. So let's go ahead and check them out. Now in this video, we're going to be taking a look at both of these products from Pamu, the Pamu Quiet and the Pamu Quiet Mini. We're going to do an EBPMAN style audio test, so make sure you have headphones or earbuds so you can hear what we're hearing. We're also going to do our extended call quality test, which is going to include a lot of the noises that you experience in your home. So let's first start taking a look at the specs and get right to it. Now, as we take a look at the specs, what we'll do is we'll look at the very first one, which is going to be the Pamu Quiet. So this is the one that we're looking at right here. And this one has a maximum playback of 4 hours. So I'm going to give you 2 time periods, right? So it's going to be with and without active noise canceling. So we're going to start without noise canceling. So without noise canceling, you can expect 4 hours of usage, right? If you do have noise canceling on, you can expect 3.5 hours, which is not a lot. So you're going to be cutting just a little bit, but still anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on if you have active noise canceling on or off. Now with the included case, you can expect to get 12 hours of usage when the active noise canceling is not used. Now if you are using active noise canceling, then 10.5 hours is what you can expect, and then you can get up to 45 days of standby time. Now this version that we're looking at right now has Bluetooth 5.0. It also has 3 mics for calls, and remember, we're going to test it using our EBPMAN style call quality test to see how well they do. Now, from a Bluetooth perspective, no issues with distance, no issues with cutouts, no issues also with any kind of syncing of audio whatsoever. So I was really happy with the overall playback. Now, for those of you who are interested in using these in the gym, you're looking at an IPX rating of 4, which is going to be great for gym use. Now, from a noise canceling, from a spec perspective, and this was interesting, from a spec perspective, they are higher spec than the AirPods Pro, cutting out noise at 40 dB. That's higher. Now, in addition to that, you can expect that they'll support all the codecs, aptX, AAC, and SBC, and also they support wireless charging. Now, as you take a look at the minis have Bluetooth 5.2, which is a newer version, more updated than what we saw with the Quiet. That's kind of odd to me. But again, no issues with synchronization, no issues with any kind of problems at all when it comes to distance either. Hybrid ANC, so it's a little bit different than the ANC that are promoted on the Pamu Quiet. The other thing that you're looking at is low latency game mode, which is something that you didn't see in the other version. That means that it's going to be optimized for gaming, which I really like. Now with either of these, I didn't really see any issues when it came to gaming, but it's nice to know that they have a low latency mode. Now, Qi charging is available, and you can expect 4.5 hours of playback. And again, that's going to vary maybe half an hour based on if you have ANC on or off. Now, the one thing I wanted to mention is that both of these also have transparency mode. One thing I didn't want to forget from either of these, transparency mode. So you're talking about transparency, active noise canceling, and then also standard use. Now, with the case, you can expect up to 18 hours, right? And that's going to, again, it's going to depend on if you have that active noise canceling on or off, because with the active noise canceling, it's obviously going to cut down the hours. Now, these earbuds also have an IPX4 rating, so either version is safe to use in the gym. Now, both of these earbuds have some great accessories. As you can see here, we're looking at USB-C charging cables, you have little travel pouches, and a supply of ear tips that you can use. And remember, you can always use one ear tip from a different size from another so that you can get the right fit. So if you ever have one that falls out but the other one stays in, just switch the ear tip. You probably have to go a little bit larger. Now, as we take a closer look at the cases for both of these products, they're very different. And one of them is extremely unique. I'd say this one right here. So the Pamu Quiet here basically are almost like a pocket watch design, and you notice that in one of the accessories it has kind of like a strap that you can use to have it over your wrist. You could possibly, if you wanted to, is put this around your neck if you wanted, just to hold them right here in place. It doesn't feel relatively heavy, right? So that shouldn't be any problem depending on how you carry it. Now, when you push the button right here, this is the cool part, it opens just like a pocket watch, right? And from a wireless charging, one of the cool things I like about it, as soon as you put it on the wireless charger, you get this kind of effect. You see how it's just charging. I thought that's pretty cool. You have USB-C charging right here, and then the minis are just your traditional, right? So they have USB charging in the back. When you open these up, there's no push button like the pocket watch. You just open it up and there you have them. But they're very similar in overall design and placement. I also like the way they are kind of placed inside of the cases themselves. They kind of like lay in this, and I'll show you when I take them out how they contact right here. But they will come out if you move them. So they don't really have strong magnets, so that's one thing to watch out for. Even though there is a magnet in place, and you can see as I put them in here that if I move it like this, it's there. So this design, because it's laying, I think they fall out a little bit easier, but you can see it holds in place relatively well. Just don't shake them, right? Because if you shake them, they're going to fall out. Now the other thing here is the same thing here. If I shake them like this, they'll come out because of the design. But again, I think I like the way they lock into place right here. You can see how they just snap into place, and then you have like an LED up here telling you that they're charging. So if you flip them over, you'll be fine, but just don't shake them. That's the only thing that I've noticed. Now from a look, and we're going to put one in one ear and one in the other. So we'll put this one right here for a second, and then we'll open this one up, and then we'll put this one in the ear. So you can see what they look like. So this one has a lower profile, right, the mini, than this one right here. But I'll turn to the right. Very AirPod, right? Look. I kind of prefer the mini, right? Because if you look at the Quiet is a lot bigger. So it's a lot bigger. It has, as you can see it right here, kind of the stem stands out a little bit more, but then the mini just disappears. I really like the way the mini kind of gets really close. Both of these have 3 mics, and I have not been able to tell much of a difference from an audio perspective. We'll talk about that in a couple seconds. But for me, it's more about the fit. Great passive noise canceling, so I put these in my ear, and they're great. The active noise canceling is also really good. So for these, they have great active noise canceling and transparency mode too. So I think that they're really feature-packed with a lot of the earbuds that we have on the market. Now, if we take a look at the earbuds just for a second, let's go ahead and pull this one out. We'll take a look at it. You saw it has a little LED right here, has the contacts here. This is the touch control, right? And then the charging is on the stem. I'll go ahead and take this one out and put it in place. We'll put this back in the case. This one similar to the other one, right? So this one has, again, similar design. Tap here to control. You have on the stem, you do have the charging, and you can see that right there on the sides. And again, all you have to do is put them in place right there, just like that. They go in. So now let's talk about the audio signature for both of these, and we're going to have an audio test in a couple seconds. But in my experience, in my opinion, they have great soundstage. So you have bass, mids, and highs are all present. Nothing overwhelms each other. They do a really nice job of really having pronounced bass. So if you like bass beats, if you like something that's bass heavy, you'll get that with these. But they're not so heavy where everything else gets lost, which is something I can really appreciate with these. Mids and highs are present, and the soundstage is one that you feel that you're immersed in the music. The music isn't playing at you, but you're in the music, right? So great in that area. Now next we're going to do our call quality test. And remember, we're going to have a whole host of tests, things that you deal with today. We're including even a face mask test. So let's get right to it. Now we're going to do our call quality test of the Pamu Quiets in a quiet environment. Take a look at our decibel readings. Anywhere from 20 to 25 decibels in noise. It's going to switch. Now this is what the call quality would sound like making a phone call on the Pamu Quiet in a quiet environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. Now we're going to add wind to this quiet environment. Now this is what the Pamu Quiet sound like in a quiet environment but with wind. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. This is what the Pamu Quiet sound like with wind. Now we're testing out the Pamu Quiet with the face mask on. This is what the Pamu Quiet sound like with the face mask on. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. Now we're continuing our test of the Pamu Quiet in a noisy environment this time. And as we take a look at our decibel readings, you're noticing anywhere from 30 all the way up to 80 decibels in noise. Let's go ahead and switch, and then we'll stay quiet to see how much has been canceled. Then we'll continue with the audio test. Let's go and switch. Now this is what the Pamu Quiet sound like in a noisy environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. Next, let's add some household noises. Now this is what the Pamu Quiet sound like with an infant crying in the background. This is what they sound like with an infant crying in the background. Now this is what the Pamu Quiet sound like with a dog barking in the background. This is what they sound like when there's a dog barking in the background. Now this next test is with a doorbell ringing in the background. This is what it sounds like if you had a doorbell in the background. Now we're testing out the Pamu Quiet in a quiet environment. As you can take a look here, we're anywhere from 20 to 22 decibels in noise. Let's go ahead and switch. Now this is what the Pamu Quiet Mini sound like in a quiet environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. Next, let's add some wind to the environment. Now this is what the Pamu Quiet sound like with wind in the environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test, but with wind in that quiet environment. Now we're testing out the Pamu Quiet Minis, but with the face mask on.
This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test.
Now we switch to a much noisier environment with the Pamu Quiet Minis, and you can see here our decibels are anywhere from 37 all the way up to 80 decibels in noise. What we're going to do is we're going to switch, we'll stay quiet to see how much is being canceled, and then we'll continue with the vocal test. So go to switch.
Now this is what the Pamu Quiet Mini sound like in a noisy environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. This is a test at almost 80 decibels with the Pamu Quiet Mini. Now we're testing out the Pamu Quiet Mini with an infant crying in the background. This is a test. This is what they would sound like with an infant crying in the background. Now we're testing out the Pamu Quiet Mini, this time with a dog barking in the background. This is what they sound like if the dog was barking in the background. Now we're testing out the Pamu Quiet Mini with the doorbell ringing. This is what they would sound like if a doorbell was ringing.
So guys, now let's check out our audio test. So make sure you wear some headphones or earbuds so you can hear what we hear.
Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders to get where we are. Days without water along the sun-soaked road.
So guys, that wraps up our review of the Pamu Quiet and the Pamu Quiet Mini. See you in the next one.